everybody. I want you to meet Donovan. Donovan last December was struggling to catch a break. He was consistently chasing trades and losing out by going against the market trends. I want you to fast forward 10 months after joining our program, and Donovan has increased his win rate by a staggering 26%, bringing him to an impressive 91% success rate as a consistent and safe options trader. You're probably thinking, how is it even possible to hit a 91% win rate in under 10 months? Well, that's exactly what Donovan is going to break down for you in today's video. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn how to win like Donovan. Well, welcome everybody to the Trading with Ashley show. I thought we would do something a little bit different today. I have one of my star students, Donovan, that has had a lot of success trading. So I thought it might be helpful for all of you to hear from someone just like you that was interested in trading, got into trading, made a few mistakes, learned from those mistakes, and started thriving. And so he agreed to allow me to interview him to benefit all of you. So Donovan, welcome and thank you so much. How was your trading today?
I had a good week, really good week. So obviously based on some techniques that you shared with me before, they helped out immensely this week. So thank you.
You're so welcome. It's fun sharing in Discord. What does it mean for you to be a part of a community? Does it help you trade? Has it changed your trading at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I really value from you and the community is being able to have trades that are more profitable, meaning before joining the group back in December, my trades were profitable 65% of the time. But as a result of learning various techniques from you, entry and exit points, as well as different strategies for trading options, I've been able to increase that percentage to 91%.
Wait, 91%? So you win 91% of your trades?
Exactly right. Exactly right. And see, beforehand, it was 65. So,
wow.
And what I learned from you is don't trade against the market, trade with the market. Sometimes I would just do a trade just to trade. And I learned from
you. To get in there when the trades need to come to you.
Exactly right. And you know, it's by you, your techniques and your analogies, it's just been extremely valuable to me.
I know I'm silly sometimes, but sometimes that hopefully helps us learn as adult learners. Well, that's an impressive win rate. What types of trading are you doing? Because there's so many types. There's swing trading, there's buying options, selling options, doing spreads. What is your go-to strategy that works for you?
My go-to strategy is covered calls. I probably do 90% of my trades are on covered calls. But as a result of you, I've been able to learn the wheel strategy and incorporate selling puts as well too. So, to buy stock at a discount and you really want the stock. And then once you get the stock, you start selling covered calls on it. And then once the shares get called away, you just rinse and repeat and do it again.
I do love the strategy, and it builds a lot of cash for you to work with. With your strategy of selling covered calls, one thing I have found with traders is they have a tendency to panic when their shares are about to get called away, and they end up working against themselves by buying back their calls. Yeah. Does that happen to you, or how do you look at it, and do you actually allow them to be called away? And if you do, what's your next step to keep the money ball rolling?
Well, it depends whether or not the holding is a long-term or is it a trade. If it's a trade, typically what I do, I just let it get called away. No big deal. But if it's a long-term position, I end up rolling it like a week or a month out and get some additional premium. Because usually stocks don't continue to rise forever. They come back and correct. And, as you have taught us, you come back within the Bollinger Band. And when you come back within the Bollinger Band, it's going to come back. And when it comes back, then most of the time you probably are below your strike price and you end up being profitable on the call that you sold.
That's wonderful. If you could be patient and not panic, I think that's the biggest mistake traders make is they panic thinking they'll never get an opportunity to get the stock back. But As we've all seen, there's always new opportunities, if not with that one, certainly with another stock. Okay, well, let's give everyone just a free technique. Tell me one of your favorites that you've learned and how you utilize it to make money.
So one of the favorites that I've, adopted from you is selling a put. So I did that on Tesla. So, and one of the things that you stress is to sell puts on down or red days because you get more premium. Thus, you buy the stock at a bigger discount.
Yes.
So I was able to do that when Tesla was down quite a bit. I bought basically limited positions and basically stared those positions as the price continued to go down, based on what you suggested. So, buy, sell one option, one put, then sell another put when the price continued to go down. Because I knew for the long term, Tesla's going to be there. People got to look beyond them from being just a car company. They're an AI company. And it's no telling where that stock may go 3 to 5 years from now.
What is one of your favorite analogies?
Oh my gosh, the one where the daughter brings home the boyfriend, and you don't know whether or not it's a good fit for you and the parents, and it's kind of like testing out a stock. You don't know if the stock's going to be a good fit or not, and then you decide no, it's not going to work out. So you get out of the position, or you don't have the relationship with the boyfriend anymore. That was a great analogy.
You don't get married until you totally know what you're getting into, for sure.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, stocks and relationships are very similar, a lot more similar than people realize.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
Of your trading history, we learn from our mistakes. What would you say is one of your larger trading mistakes, and what did you learn from it?
Probably two mistakes. One was FOMO, fear of missing out. You see a stock going up, you just like, oh, I'm gonna get in, I got to get in. It goes up maybe that day, and then the next day it drops maybe 5 or 7%, and you're just like, wow, I should have just waited. It's gonna come back. And then the other one is not using margin correctly. Sometimes we get a little bit overly zealous using margins, and you get a margin call, and it's a little bit eerie when you get that margin call like that. But those are probably the two of the biggest learnings that I had, the FOMO and margin calls.
Those are good ones. Once you learn from those, you usually don't repeat those mistakes.
No, you don't. You don't.
Not if you value your money.
But the beauty behind options, there's so many different ways to be profitable.
Yes.
And it's just incredible. It's almost endless, the number of ways that you have to either protect a position or generate income. And it's just so gratifying. I remember talking to numerous brokers throughout my career, and they said, stay away from options. 95% of the people that do options lose money. And I'm just like, well, that can't be true. So, I just got away from it, just stuck with stocks and ETFs and things of that order. But then during COVID, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. So I just spent all this time learning options and stuff like that. And I will say, my father got me in the stock market at age 10. He gave me one share of stock in a local bank in Virginia. And basically I followed that stock throughout. And then he asked me to, back in the day, you couldn't find information on the computer. Frankly, there was very few computers. You had to wait for the newspaper to come out or watch the local news. Right. So my father would ask me, what did various stocks end up at the end of the day and stuff like that. And I would watch the news and tell him and stuff like that. And, some of his positions or maybe some things he was thinking about buying or something like that. But he's the one that at age 10, gave me that one share of that banking stock and, basically put me in the position where I am today.
Wow. That really grabbed hold of, your interest, and you were able to nurse that to the point that you are today. How long have you been trading?
Since I was age 10. So No,
Wow.
over 40 years I've been trading, but I only been doing options, basically since COVID.
Right. Heaven gave us a lot of time to learn. That's when my trading journey really accelerated. I had all this time and I just wanted to learn and I just really engrossed myself into it. So I
Right.
think it did that for a lot of us. They have COVID babies. We're COVID stock market junkies.
We are, we are, and I tell you, a couple things happened. One, I remember going to a car dealership to get some service work done, and I was still learning about options. And person there in the dealership, who happened to be a mechanic, he kind of looked on my screen and saw what I was doing. He said, "Oh, you're learning options." I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You do options." He says, "Oh yeah, I've been doing options about 7 years." I'm just like, wow, if he can do options, how come I can't learn options? He said he's been doing it 7 years like that. And then the other thing is, um, in November of 2023, I got word that my position was going to be eliminated. So it worked out fine. I had been learning trading and stuff like that. And that day actually did some trades and were able to make $2,000 that day. And I said, well, that was like a sign that this is my new purpose.
Wow. That is exciting to hear that. You and I have a very similar story because my background was in corporate America. And finally, I found, you always want a plan B. You just want a fallback plan. And I used the stock that they gave me and started practicing on selling covered calls with that stock. Little did they know that stock would be the catalyst for me to be able to walk away.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. But it's kind of interesting. I'll talk to a lot of people that I used to work with, and they kind of surprised that you're able to basically generate enough income to basically replace your income as if you were working. And they were like, "Are you doing day trading?" I'm like, "No, I don't like day trading." I've been to several courses on that. I just didn't like that. So, this type of trading where we do trades on a weekly or monthly basis, depending on what we're trying to accomplish, is the correct, pace for me.
It is nice because if you have a busy life like you do, and I do, and a lot of our members do, it allows you that balance so you're not singularly focused. I know I remember when I was doing a lot of futures trading that it took all of my energy. And it was really hard to focus on any family activities because I knew that the market was open and I had a trade open. And so I made the decision to switch gears to selling options exclusively because it gave me so much mental freedom. And really, I make more money doing this anyway because it's just more consistent.
Right. Right. That's the biggest thing. I don't do any, futures trading and stuff like that. Maybe sometime down the road, but I'm very content what I'm doing now because it's extremely successful and gratifying.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun to make money without having to sweat or put together presentations or
It is.
calls.
It is. And the thing about it, like you alluded to, you do a presentation to a board or high level VPs or something like that. You kind of stress out a little bit, leading up to the presentation, stuff like this. Here, totally, I feel like I control my destiny. I know exactly what I'm doing, what I need to do. The only thing I need to know is what direction a given trade's going to go in a position.
That's wonderful. It's the freedom of your time and energy and brain power.
Right.
So when you think about trading and what it's doing for you, what would you say is a reasonable time frame for someone to learn, or the very first step that maybe somebody should take if they're interested, but they just don't know where to begin?
Well, first of all, they needed to get connected with you. So I think that's the way to go because you really break it down and make it easy for folks to understand. I would say easily in 60 days, you should be able to have some base knowledge to do some trading. But what I encourage people to do is to start small, even paper trade. Paper trade, I mean, you're trading on a fictitious account. You're not trading on a live account. and understand what you're doing there, and then develop techniques there. So when you do your live trading, you basically know what to expect. So I would say 60 days. And then as you continue to progress, and depending on how much time you have, you can easily get much better and master it to the degree that you want to. You could be looking for some passive income, or you could be looking for some active income, but these various techniques give you the ability, to do both.
It's fascinating, really, talking shop. It's fun to have each other to discuss this with, because you mentioned when you go to parties and stuff, people want to talk about it, but a lot of times you're in the teaching mode because they don't fully understand it. So it is refreshing to have a community where we all are talking shop.
Right. And, the beauty of our community is, have some folks that are relatively inexperienced, brand new, and then you got other folks that have been doing it for years, maybe a decade or something like that. So they really understand, and we help each other out and stuff like that. You have the coaches as well too. And, I like the fact too that we have direct access to you. We meet with you twice a week, and you teach us new techniques and answer questions for the entire group. And, a lot of times you may think that you're not going to get something out on a given day, but somebody asked a question that you maybe didn't think about, but it applies to you.
That is the beauty of having a atmosphere where people are comfortable asking questions. That was my commitment, because that's what took me longer to learn than what it is taking a lot of you, because the atmosphere was such that I was timid, because I didn't know if I was dipping my toe into, warm waters or not.
Right.
And so I want to create a dynamic. My wish was where everyone's comfortable, even asking the simplest question, because there is somebody that's watching and hoping someone ask it so that they can get the answer. So I'm glad you mentioned that. That is very important in the learning process.
And literally, just before we started this session, I was on a call with one of our peers. She's relatively new. Her name's Val. And she basically had some questions about Thinkorswim, and we did a quick session, and I told her, where to look for various things within Thinkorswim. And she ended up making, this is a paper trade. She ended up making $952 on her first trade, and she was so excited.
That's awesome. Members helping members, and you're going above and beyond. I do appreciate it. I know she does too. That's very kind.
Just like I said, I'm glad to help anybody out. So, because people have helped me out, like you and other folks and stuff like that. So I'm always willing to spread the word to whoever's willing to listen to me. So.
Wow. Well, it is an honor to have you in the community. I'm so excited to get this video out and show everybody what it's really like to be a trader in real life, and that from your perspective, so that others can realize that they can too do this if they have the interest. So any final words for YouTube world out there that's listening to you?
First of all, please subscribe to Ashley. Secondly, start small. Thirdly, be willing to put the time in. Because if you put the time in, you're going to get some big dividends, some big benefits, some big profits and stuff like that. So if you're willing to do those three things, it's no telling when you accomplish over a certain period of time and really put you in a better financial situation than what you're in now, and help create that generational wealth as well too.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, you're a blessing to all of us. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Like I said, I'm blessed to be part of the group, and look forward to every Tuesdays and Fridays. So with you in the group. So thank you.
You're so welcome, and we'll be talking soon.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You as well, Donovan.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.